I'm in third year. I'm doing undergraduation in mechanical engineering from VIT Vellore. I think I have sent you my resume.
Yeah,
If you have it open,
Yeah.
can you please see?
Yeah.
So I'm interested into materials engineering, particularly thermal spray.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad has a company which manufactures thermal spray equipment based in Jodhpur, my hometown. So I've done taken up several projects in this field. Last summer, I interned in Greece in a thermal spray company,
Mm-hmm.
and I did like few more internships. One was in the CNC manufacturing unit in Bangalore,
Mm-hmm.
East Designs. So yeah,
So
that's it.
so you're interested more in the mechanical or the materials aspect of it?
Materials.
Materials, okay. So your institute, they don't have material science undergrad?
No, they don't.
They don't, okay.
No.
But you are taking there are some courses that you can take on material science and so, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you why.
Like the course that's Monday. Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing. Why were you interested in material science? Like, what motivated you to say this is what I would like to pursue further?
So see, I've seen like my dad and my grandfather. They start a factory production unit.
Mm-hmm.
So like at first, I thought like I should take up this thing because they have spent so much of time and energy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take it forward. So then when I started doing some projects, I got some coatings from the company.
Uh-huh.
Then tested it, and then I gained more interest in this field.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. So what is your future plan? I mean, I'm pretty sure that you would probably gonna work whatever your dad and your grandfather has started to take it further, or you said I don't want to do anything with it. I just want to start my own career and do something random. What is your plan?
So that's actually what I'm confused about.
Uh-huh.
It's like in India, the undergrads they get like around maximum of 10 lakh per year, the salary.
No, forget
starting
about.
salary.
No, what
And
I'm saying is forget about money for point. Just think about your interest and just because this is a conversation. I would ask some difficult questions with you. So don't get uncomfortable. I want a right answer so that I can provide you the right advice. So what? And to be honest with you, if I was you, I would probably join my dad business. There is nothing wrong in it. Okay. So don't take a high moral ground also. All I'm saying, I want to know what you think you would be end up doing or what you would like to do. So I can tell you, this would be the right path for you versus this one.
See, actually, I'm confused. Sometimes I feel like I should work in some big companies like Rolls-Royce, Boeing, and all. Like get into good position, the management position, and make my career out of it. Then, on the other hand, it's like the pay scale. That's what I feel like. Like if you see it in India, it's very less, and like it takes a lot of years to grow, particularly in India. So what I feel like is like if I have to take a job, I would prefer more into the abroad, like outside India. But on the other hand, I guess like it's little difficult as well to survive I'm not really sure of, but then like the environment over there, like that's I'm like little confused about
that's
it.
fine. So let me ask you, what's your dad?
And yeah, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So like, see, I was seeing about Boeing and Airbus and all that. So like those are like French companies, so you need to learn French, and like the higher positions they are usually taken by the company, like the nationalities, the French people. So that's another point. Like if you go into Germany in Mercedes or something, so like you need to learn German, and the positions are taken up by those nationals. Is it true?
I mean, I want to ask you, I want to understand your question. I can give you answer what is true and what is not. But once you're done talking, or probably then I can start, giving my opinion on some of the questions that you're asking. Let me ask you, what's your dad background is? Like he when he started taking over his dad business or something. What was his views on when he took over that role or something? Was he at your same state, like, or don't want to do, I want to do something my own, or he was very much sure that because my dad started this, I probably would do the same thing?
His situation was a little bad. Like at that time, we weren't in good condition. So like we weren't financial stable and all that.
You
He
were saying.
started in 1988, so it was like 30 years back.
Mhm.
So conditions that time were a little different, very different from now.
You mean
So
you mean your business wise, the it's more secure and better versus 30 years back? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Okay.
because that yeah.
No, no, I understand. Okay, okay, okay. And what's your have you spoken about your parents about that? Like, what their opinion is?
Yeah, I mean, they say do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
It's like they're open to everything. I'm the only child, so
Yeah.
they're ready to send me out as well. Like, go settle somewhere
Sure, sure,
if you want to,
sure,
if you
sure,
think it's good for you.
sure, sure. Okay, so let me give you my opinion, okay, now on that, and what would I do? Okay, and
Yeah.
then you can take that as a advice or whatever you want to conclude from there, because ultimately you have to decide what you want to do, right? So,
Yeah.
I think it would be so I'm looking at where India would be 10 years back and the world would be 10 years from now, sorry. And what is the role that India would play, and what the role that the world would play, and where you see
Yeah.
yourself. I think that is the most important question, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
that's how I would answer that question, because what you're talking about is I have to sum up where are the opportunities to grow, make money, where that will be in future, right? So, if I look at even the current scenario, what is going on right now globally, and what is the scenario even right now, and my dad didn't have any business. My father was a teacher, and so I had to, work on my own. And I did my undergrad, and then came here for studies and all that. So that was the path for me to choose. But looking at your situation, I think it's really good that your dad and granddad did hard work, and I think for you, you can take that an opportunity to grow that business. And to be honest with you,
Yeah.
that that also has, you have a lot of responsibility in your shoulders in that sense. And if I was you, I would say, rather than thinking of that I want to work for Boeing, or I want to work for Rolls Royce, or I want to work for BMW, my advice would be is you have to rethink about why I am thinking that way, what is the reason, and why I should not take my business, what I have right now, and grow it further. So there would be two paths. One, you'd say, how do I prepare myself to take the business, what I am gonna inherit, and take it to the next level, and how I prepare for that? So for that, definitely you have to be technically very sound. So if I was you, my advice would be is go to a good school where you can learn more about that technology. So for example, you said thermal spray, right? You can say, okay,
Yeah.
why don't I do my master's or PhD, and to learn more about the technicalities of that particular business, and it doesn't harm
Yeah.
me. So if I was you, I would probably say I would probably go for an master's, and probably then I will do probably an MBA, to be honest with you. If I was you, I won't
Yeah.
go to PhD that much,
Yes.
because I think you can learn, and if you devote some more time. So for example, usually a master's is like 2 years or so in US,
Yeah.
right? you can take another more year, so just to say that I want to learn, or if you can get enrolled directly into a PhD program, which is also a possibility, and say I want to go directly to a PhD because I am very clear what I want to do, right? So that is one way to go, and there is nothing wrong in it. And then probably after that, to get some business sense, you can do you after that probably I would join my dad business to keep that in my mind that what next I'm going to do. What you have to understand is whatever they build, you have to build on top of that, right? So what you would add to your business, how would you do that? So that's where probably I will think much more where the future is. And to be honest with you, if you look at I mean, I have worked in thermal spray coating area, and to be honest with you, if you look at aerospace or any high temperature systems, they all need coatings, right? Because these are thermal coatings. So, and there are lot of technologies that need that yeah, upcoming or probably convention also, right? Like the turbine jet blade or so forth, which are conventional ones. They need all those technologies. So, to build from there, that's one way to look at it and say, okay, so I want to get some business sense. I want to get some really good technical background to 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 move this business one step ahead. That's one way. Let me ask you the second question, answer of your question. You said, I am not interested. I don't want to do. I want to do something on my own totally. I don't care. Let's say other scenario, right? I would say that would be a difficult path, no doubt, right? You may see lot of failures, and I'm not saying in the first case you won't see, but here, since you are starting from scratch, like I did or somebody else did, you will failures will be inevitable. Trust me. And yes, you are absolutely right. Unless and until, and I have seen that so I have worked in companies like LG or Rolls Royce or and US companies or so forth. Most of the companies, I would say, the upper management, if they are not in US, they are tend to be focused more on where that business has originated from. So, for example, when I was in LG, all the top management was Korean, no matter what. I mean, LG India may have a president that can be an Indian origin, but to be honest with you, the power lies somewhere else. It will not be like Google or it will not be like Microsoft where they will hire someone of Indian origin. So in US scenario, the situation is very different. And I haven't found it anywhere else, to be honest with you, especially whether it's a German company or more of a traditional cultural countries where they are more they have very nationalistic pride or so forth. So even for India, for example, Reliance won't have a CEO which is American based. You know what I mean? So it would be very tough to see. So but having said that, in US that's not the case. You can, if it's a US company, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can become the top boss. So in those cases, it's very different. If it's a US company, I won't say that. Yes, you're right. If it's a traditional company, Airbus or BMW, Volkswagen, LG, Samsung, Hyundai, Honda, yeah, it would be extremely difficult. Yeah, I mean, as I said, you can be a president for India, but it's up to you how what you see yourself you want to do. But if to be honest with you, if that is your ambition, is you want to become a top boss or something, it doesn't hurt to play a same role in your company, because as I said, you will be providing jobs and doing many great things. And if you can become a very big supplier for any of these businesses, right? And as I said, my first point, looking at India, where the business would be, where the opportunities will be, to be honest with you, I see that's where you will have a tremendous growth, and everybody would say that. So for you, who is in third year of his undergrad, I think you need to decide what path I want to choose, because as I told you, right? So, for example, if I say I have a good career in my life and where I am, it took, so I finished my
Yeah.
undergrad in 2010, right? Right? And it took me, no, undergrad in 2003. So it took me almost
Yeah.
15, 16 years where I am today. And I'm not a CEO of a
Yeah.
company, right? And forget that many things that we are seeing now in respect to students who are coming here, who used to come here, and where what they used to do, and so forth. And especially, it's very becoming very difficult for people who are working in core industries, that you have to face many other challenges. So visa, immigration, and that's throughout the world. So
Yeah.
my personal advice to you would be is, if and you can, as I said, you can think about it more and more, is definitely go out. Don't stay in India.
Yeah.
Definitely go out.
Yeah.
Learn
Yeah.
as much as you
Thanks.
can. Learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
Gain as much knowledge as you can. But your focus, your bird's eye have to be like, I probably will have to go back, and whatever I'm learning, I have to apply that knowledge to take the business, which maybe, let's say, for example, is $50 million right now, to $1 billion. So
Yeah.
that would be my advice to you, honestly. Unless and until there are some
Yeah.
personal issues, and I mean, there are many. I have a couple of friends who said I have nothing to do with technology at all, and they became, they started doing writing. They became a writer or something. So if you have something like a out of sight mind, that's different. But at your age, my my very first advice to you would be, because you have to understand, a person like you or a student like you are very fortunate.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying it when I say is fortunate, what I mean is that gives you an ability to do something and to take risk in your life. It doesn't stop you. So I won't say the same thing to other person, but for you, you should take risk. If you're not taking risk,
Yeah.
you would be the most stupid person in the world, to be honest with you. You should take risk. You should go out, explore. I mean, let's say if you decide to do your, even if you do your masters or something, and say you started working for Rolls Royce or some other company, let's say, work there for 4 or 5 years, and I can tell you for sure, once you work there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you will gain enough knowledge and enough wisdom that you say, now it's time to go back and do something on my own. And because for you, you don't have the barrier where you have to think about where I'm going to start or what I'm going to do, right? So,
Yeah.
but definitely,
Yeah.
I would say get more technical knowledge. I think you are pretty, as undergrad, I would say you are pretty immature. Yes, you would have some experience because you are looking at the business and all that. But if you want to run a business, you should know the product. You should know the technical details of it. So you should have that knowledge that tomorrow, if you're gonna go out and speak to a product manager at Airbus, that why should I should use your coating. You should have a good technical answer. So for that, you have to enhance your technical knowledge. So go to a good university, get touch with a professor that would enhance your knowledge and allow you to grow, and to learn and more about this particular technology and so forth. That's number one. Number two, I would say it won't hurt you to do an MBA, but you can do that MBA of part time also, or you can do an executive MBA. I don't think you have to go to a full time MBA program. It Unless and until you say, I have time, I can do that, so that's fine. But that
Okay.
I would say, rather doing a PhD, probably
Yeah.
MBA would help you to
Right.
understand a lot, because it's all about MBA is more or less is about, you know how would I position myself, my company, in the market outside. and
Yeah.
and I think for a person like you, that would be extremely helpful, to be honest. But and as I told you, one another thing that you can do, to be honest, you can do a master's program
Yeah.
in India also. Let's say if you find a good master's program or and a good professor at IIT Bombay, let's say for example, right? You can go
Yeah.
there. Actually, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. But for an MBA, I would definitely say, because if you want to put your company outside global, you should
Yeah.
and do your MBA outside India. Don't do it in India. MBA definitely you
Okay.
want to do outside, but I think that if you say, what I want to do is I want to learn, because technology is very easy to learn nowadays, right? Somebody who is
Yeah.
teaching thermal spray coating in, let's say, Texas, Dallas, won't be much different than somebody who is teaching you in IIT Bombay, because the knowledge is
Yeah.
same, right? But I would say MBA is a little bit different because the people you interact, the global, the world where it is, and the problems that you see when you do your MBA in US. I think it would be the perspective is very different because it's more about human interaction. It's more about who are in your class. So you will find people who are from China, who are from Taiwan, who are from France, and you will have all these people bringing their ideas from everywhere. Unlike in India, where you will find people, I would say 99.9% will be from India. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you want a global
Yeah.
perspective, you want that class, but for technical terms, it doesn't matter that much, to be honest. So if you find a good professor and a good course in India, you can do that from India also, because you don't have to spend too much money on that, honestly. But let's say
Yeah.
if you decide to go to do an MBA after that, definitely go outside, find a good school, go outside and do that, and then decide to come back and join your dad business, or for that matter, after that, even if you get a chance to, and I'm pretty sure you will get a chance to work into even a consulting company, right, or McKinsey, or for that matter, any technical company, work there for a couple of years, and I'm pretty sure that you will realize that there will be a time where you will say, now it's time to go back. Yeah. But
Okay.
but as far as I would say salaries and all that, I don't think that should account in your factor. I don't think,
No,
to be honest with you, I don't think you
it's
can make I don't think you can even come closer to the money that probably you can make if let's say you are able to do your business to the next level. I don't think you can even
yeah.
come close. So I don't think at your what I'm saying, at your age, don't think about money. Think about what I want to do, what my interests are. That's number one.
Yeah.
The money will come, and the money will always come
Yeah.
later, and it will chase you. If you are good, it will chase you. So it doesn't matter. But as I said, masters probably you can do from India or outside, but definitely do an MBA from a good school
Yeah.
abroad. It will change your
Yeah.
perspective totally. And then, as I said, you can work for a consulting company for a few years and then come back. And if you look at most of the people, like even at Reliance or someone, all these people who inherited their business, they more or less have done the same thing. You know what I mean? But in your case, the thing is so different is little bit because you are a technology company. So I want you to learn about the technology, what it is.
Yeah.
I want you to understand.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow you can have your own recipe of a new thermal spray coating. I want you to do that, patent it, because that's where your value proposition would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So I had one more doubt.
Sure.
Like I was seeing the materials engineering ranking of the universities and all. The thing is, the universities good in thermal spray don't come into top of the charts for the overall ranking.
How does it matter to you?
Yeah, so I should get into a good university which has good thermal spray, right?
Correct.
Instead of going into MIT, Harvard, or something. Like if I get into
Yeah.
that,
So
doesn't matter actually.
that's what I'm saying. For you, you
Yeah.
have a specific problem.
Yeah.
You see, for me, when I was in my third year, I
Yeah.
had an ocean to swim, right? I can go
Yeah.
south, north, but your direction is pretty much set if that's what you want to do. So you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have any question. For you, you need a place where you can learn. Doesn't matter. So let me ask you, if you get into Harvard and learn about, let's say, electronics, let's say, what that gonna do
yeah,
to you? What help that gonna
nothing.
do? Nothing, right? So
Yeah,
and I can tell you, and I can recommend you probably a couple of universities also, and probably you know that, to be honest with you. But as I said, it for you, you are already streamlined. And some of the
yeah,
questions that you are asking about is masters management is a better option than an MS. You are
yeah,
interested in thermal spray because your dad has a company, and where university should I go? Should I look at salaries and all that? I mean, if you look at you actually some of those answers in your heart already, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't think that for you the confused state is very less. For you, you have already been streamlined because what you already decided to do. So let's say if your question would be, Amit, I don't want to do have anything to do with my dad's business. I really don't like that. I don't want to do that. Tell me. Then I probably would have told you something else. Then probably I would say, yeah, probably you should try Harvard and do some whatever your interest is. But I won't gonna say
yeah,
that because I probably have some good idea that what you should be doing. But if you, as I said, later if you decide that this is not what I want to do, but my wisdom tells me that you will come back and probably would do something. So I would like you to do something which is related to what you have inherit you're going to inherit from your parents. And there's, to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong in it. If somebody says,
yeah,
you have already so many things to you have already have everything set up, good for you, man. I wish I had that. So be proud of that, take it to next level. And but as I said, your responsibility would be is to take that to next level, and
yeah,
help more people by hiring them, employing them, making good money, make good about India, make good about your business. I mean, if you can do that, this is as much as challenging for anyone to start its own career, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so do that, and you should be okay, I think. Yeah.